My Lords, I rise very briefly, rather enjoying this reunion from the Medicines and Medical Devices Bill of a group of people who taught me a great deal about dealing with legislation, and looking at an amendment that was very like this. And I have a phrase I use often: campaigning works. I think I should make that campaigning by the noble lady Baroness Cumberledge works particularly well, because we are seeing here real progress, although, as many noble lords have already said, we need to make sure this is mandatory, not some kind of voluntary extra, because when I was working on the Medicines and Medical Devices Bill, I spoke to a number of people from industry, and they were very much concerned about the fact that they wanted tight rules that applied to everybody, because otherwise those who cut corners, push the envelope, actually have a competitive advantage against people who are absolutely doing the right thing and being absolutely open and not flinging money around. So it's actually something that certainly many parts of the sector are actually very keen on. And I think it's interesting that it's taken us so long to get to this point when the noble lady Baroness Cumberledge presented ways of doing this back in the Medicines and Medical Devices Bill. We haven't really heard the government using their favourite phrase world-leading or world-beating very often in this area, because, as the noble lady Baroness Brinton said, we are very much trailing behind other countries in the transparency here. And I will just make one final comment, which is that we do have a huge problem with public trust. We see this on the street outside your lordship's house quite often. Absolute transparency and openness is crucial, and as we heard in the oral questions earlier, the fact that some companies have been able to profiteer hugely from the pandemic is something that causes more damage to public trust, and really we need to tackle it with as much sunlight of transparency and openness as possible.